Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about when you start your health and fitness journey, you can't stop. So, obviously, many people that we work with and many people in general, they will try out different diets. They'll try out different workout programs and exercises, things like that. And what it really comes down to is you can't just start a program and then stop. You have to make the decision to, do I want to be a healthy and fit person for the rest of my life? You have to adopt that identity or not. So our job today is basically going to go over how to decide whether or not you want to identify yourself as a health and fitness person, how to go about making sure that you never stop again. So once you do start a program or some kind of making changes in your life, how to not have to stop ever so that you can continue to get results and live a long, healthy life for the remainder of your lifetime. So that's what we're going to talk about. The first two main reasons that people would start and then stop is maybe they don't enjoy the program, it doesn't work for them, or it's a time issue or a money issue, and it makes them kind of bounce back and forth between these things. They restart every year. We see it all the time. I'll go ahead and let Bethany kind of share her little opinion on that, and then we'll just kind of keep bouncing back and forth. But
yeah, especially with people starting and stopping, throughout the year. A lot of people will take the summer off and then they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, why did I do that? Because I set myself back, or they went back to how they were before they started working out and eating right. And people come in with the wrong idea, in my opinion. Some people do anyways, they think it's like, oh, okay, get in shape for something, and then I don't have to do anything for a while until I need to get in shape for another wedding or something like that. Whereas that's not the mindset that's going to keep long-term results at all. You're just going in for that short-term gain. Maybe it's losing 20 pounds, but long-term, if you just keep going through that cycle, you're going to end up worse and worse every year until you've kind of whacked up your metabolism and health in general. And then what you really want to do, focusing when you come in, is knowing that it's a process and that at some capacity, you're going to keep going with this for the rest of your life. It's not like, oh, I'm going to get healthy. It's like someone comes in and then let's say they reverse their diabetes or, get their heart healthy again. They're not just all of a sudden going to stop because they're like, oh, well, I'm healthy now. I'm just going to stop everything that I'm doing and I'm going to go back to those bad habits that got me there in the first place. And, switching the mindset from becoming the healthy person, becoming that healthy and fit person, those are the people that stick around the longest, that have the best results, the best health overall. So, not just doing it for a short-term gain, for something like superficial, really, really identifying with, okay, why do I want to do this? I need to become a fitter and healthier version of myself. Even if it is like, maybe you do want to lose some weight, that's completely fine to be part of it, but you need something deeper than that to actually have long-term results.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up, one thing I wanted to touch on is people think that they're fixed once they achieve the goal that they set out for. So, somebody, wants to lose 20 pounds and they do this diet or this workout program and they lose the 20 pounds and then they stop. They're like, oh, I got to my goal. I no longer need to work out or eat healthy. But then 6 months down the road, they're right back where they started and they do that again. So what you need to realize is if you're going to start a program, that's great. If you have a goal of losing 20 pounds, that's fantastic. But understand that it's going to have to be a lifelong journey of continuing to maintain or slowly progress upon those goals. I would go as far as to say you'll never actually achieve your ultimate goal. So let's say you set the goal of 20 pounds. By the time you get to that 20-pound goal, you're going to have a new goal set. So that is a really good way to keep you motivated, keep you going. There's going to be hiccups along the road. There's going to be times where you're more busy, where maybe finances are tighter, things like that. But what we're encouraging you to do, and the point of this talk, is to basically get you thinking of, how can I do this year round, year after year for the rest of my life? All I have to do is adjust my dial, is what I always refer to. There's going to be months of the year, right now, during the winter months, January through April are our busiest months. People are excited about the New Year's resolution for one, plus in the springtime, people get really excited for summer. So like she mentioned, people want to get fit for a New Year's resolution or for the summertime to have a summer body. That's a very superficial goal and it's not going to last. It's great to get you motivated and get you started, but you need to think more long term. So you might dial up dial to 10 and train really hard before the summer. That's fantastic. But don't just shut it down to 0 once you get fit for summer. You just dial it back. Okay, I'm going to enjoy the summer, go camping. We're going to do all these things, go on these trips, whatever it is, spend time outside. You can't just quit the gym and quit eating healthy. You have to dial back maybe to a 4 or a 5. So still getting a couple of workouts in a week, still eating healthy 70% of the time instead of 90% of the time. You need to identify yourself as a fit and healthy person and ask yourself, what would a fit and healthy person do in every situation that you choose to do every day? Are they going to be going to fast food? Are they going to skip workouts every week? Are they going to, stay up super late every single day or whatever it is? Start asking yourself that question, and then it's so easy to answer it. If you say, does a fit and healthy person do this? Yes or no? Then you can make the decision to do that or not. But there are going to be circumstances where even for us, sometimes our training's dialed right up. We just finished up the CrossFit Open. So probably the last couple months leading up to that, we were training a little bit harder, making sure we were recovering better. So focusing on sleep, hydration, things like that. Now that it's over, for most people anyways, the Open's over. So maybe they're going to take a little bit of time off and kind of deload for a little while. But we're not stopping our program, just because we didn't maybe do as well as we wanted to, or just because it's over, doesn't mean we're going to stop. We're already looking forward to the next year and setting new goals. So.
Yeah. Of always chasing something different. I like how you said, like, your goal is always going to change. Like, you never really reach your goals. You just end up setting new goals every time. And there's a quote from Alex Ramosi that I really like. It's, I cannot fail if I do not quit. And that's the same case for any different goal that you're trying to get in life. Is as long as you don't quit, you'll get there. It might take you longer than some other people. Like, some people might lose 100 pounds in a year. Some people, they might only be able to lose, 20, 30 pounds in a year. And, if you just compare it to the other person, you feel like you're failing, but no, you're succeeding. You're losing the weight. You are making better choices. And I think a lot of people end up getting very discouraged. They'll lose, say they do like a 6-week challenge or something like that. They lose 20 pounds. Well, the weight comes off really fast in those first 6 weeks. And then they just go to like, all right, I'm just going to do classes and kind of eat the same. Well, they just maintain their weight. So they think that, oh, I'm not losing weight, so I must be failing at this, or I'm not doing something right. And then they end up giving up, gaining the 20 pounds back, and they keep repeating that year after year. But if you think about it, if they just did, say they lost 20 pounds, they maintained it, and then maybe they did another diet and they lost 20 pounds from there. So they're actually going down over time, even if it's a slower process. It's not going to be one straight shot. So if they can at least maintain, and however many times they gained and lost 10 pounds, it could add up to 50 pounds over 5 years. That's a big change in people's physique. And even though it's a longer time, I mean, it's still worth it. You're still making those strides towards being that fitter and healthier version of yourself, and you're still going to get farther than if you just did the same cycle of gaining and losing the same 10 pounds 5-10 years along. And it's just really not good for your mental state as well. Of people get really down on themselves thinking that they can't lose weight when that happens, instead of finding like, oh, okay, so I could lose 10 pounds, but I am struggling to lose any more after that. What else am I not doing, or what else can I do to help see progress? And I will guarantee you there's at least a couple of things that you can change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all just a process. Like when you first start out, it's going to be some very basic, simple things that are going to get you amazing progress very fast. And then it's going to be slowly, figuring out what else do I need to improve upon. And when we coach people, we only focus on certain habits in the beginning. And then once they master those habits, then you can start to learn and adopt new habits. So there are some that are very, very important, but they're not necessarily essential at the moment. So when you first start out, just getting your nutrition down and starting to move your body, probably is going to be the most important thing. But then further down the road, it could be, okay, am I maximizing my sleep? Am I getting enough water? Am I recovering good enough? So then you can start to adopt new things to help with your progression. But I like that you said it's not linear. You're not just going to go in this one nice straight line every year. It's going to be up and down. But if you look at it from a really broad view, as long as you stay consistent with it and you put in 70, 80% effort, it's going to go down over time. It just might have some hiccups in the road. And the most important thing is you don't give up when you run into those obstacles and those hiccups. You have to just keep pushing forward and ask yourself, what can I do better? What do I need to change? And not get upset and quit and think this isn't working. Because the studies show, the research is there, if you exercise and move your body and you do resistance training and you eat 70, 80, 90% healthy whole foods, and you eat enough of it, you're going to get results and be a healthy person. It's not rocket science. It's just the hardest part is the discipline of it. And a lot of people, what really hesitates them on starting or continuing is they don't have the motivation or they lose the motivation. Motivation is so minuscule. You might be motivated for like the first week. It's something new. You try it out. You're excited about it. That motivation is going to slowly start to wear off. And at some point, you're going to have to rely on your discipline. You're going to have to remind yourself why you're doing it, which is another really important thing of creating your identity, is why you actually want to be healthier and fit, which we'll get into in a minute. If you can identify that and remind yourself, why am I going to the gym every day? Why am I eating healthy every day? That's where the discipline comes into play. You can do the work because you know you need to, not because you want to.
Mm-hmm. That's 100%. Like, I was just trying to think to myself, like, when was the last time I was like really motivated to train? Like when I was like really excited, like, oh, I'm so excited. I got, this 12-minute AMRAP Metcon today. I don't really get excited that much, but I know that it's important. Yeah. It just has to get done. Like, when are you motivated to eat chicken and rice? Not very, unless you're starving. Okay, there's been some times where I'm really hungry and I'm like, I just need to eat something, but you're really not, you're never like excited or motivated to do those things. I mean, there's days where you are pumped up. Like, you feel like you're just ready to go. You're ready to get that workout in. You're excited. And that's maybe like 1 out of 10 workouts, mm-hmm. like once every 2 weeks, where you're like just jazzed up, ready to go. But most of the time it's just like, I'm here and I'm getting the work done because it's a non-negotiable. And that's what people need to start viewing it as, is, like, your health is not negotiable. Like, everything in your life, I mean, you prioritize, like, say, house payments and everything like that. And like, that's like your work, and of saying like, oh, well, I can't, go out on the weekends or go out during the night because then it's going to impact my work and different things like that. So you're prioritizing your work over, say, a
sleeping
social
in. You can't just sleep in every single day. You have to get up, get ready, go to work every day. Right?
So a lot of people have discipline and they have like self-control in those areas of their life. So what they just have to learn is how to transfer those abilities and those attributes to health and fitness. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to get up at, say, 6 a.m. and, get ready for work or get the kids off to work, but they do it anyways. Doesn't matter if you're motivated to do it, it has to get done. So it's the same thing with health and fitness. It's just overcoming that mindset of like having to want to work out. It's like, don't get it out of your head that we like to do it all the time. Like, we don't like to do it all the time, but you just do it just like everything else. And those are the people that are going to make the best results, of knowing that, hey, this is my gym times and non-negotiable. Like, yes, there's going to be times where like you're more dedicated to it and you're more on track with your meal plans. And then sometimes maybe work is really crazy. So you have to dial back. Instead of 4 days a week, you're only coming in 2 days a week, but you're at least doing something. If people get out of the routine and out of that identity of, I am a fit and healthy person that goes to the gym, that meal preps, that eats well, once you get out of that mindset, that's where you have to have that, I need that big surge of motivation just to get back in. It's way easier just to keep the momentum. Even if it's, even if you're dialed back, you're still keeping that momentum going. Yeah. It's way easier to do than to get remotivated to join the gym or, just remotivated to start anything.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we have we have a number of people that will, for example, take off the summer and then they come back like, oh, I don't know why I did that. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I lost all my progress. I'm not doing that this next year, this and that. And so we've just to say, we have so many people that understand the negatives of quitting. I have never, ever had anybody come in consistently working out and say, oh, I wish I didn't do that workout, or I don't feel as good now I did that workout. Everybody that works out regularly and eats good, they always feel better. And the real goal of most people, most of us, is just to feel really good, have more energy, be able to do more things. So when we talk about making the investment in yourself of the time and the energy, maybe the financial commitment of taking care of yourself, it is a non-negotiable. It should be no different than having to make your mortgage payment, having to make your car payment, having to get up and go to work every day. Eating food and exercising should be in that same exact boat. And that's what we're trying to get across to people if they want to live a long, healthy lifestyle. Not to mention, by doing it, all the other aspects of your life are more enjoyable and better. For example, if you do work out regularly and you improve your strength and your endurance and your mental health and your mood, you relieve stress, work gets easier, life at home gets easier. You're able to play with the kids and you're able to handle the stresses in life a lot easier. So your productivity as a whole gets better. So now what I'd like to do is try to get into, okay, why do we want to do this? So two scenarios. Let's say we have Jeff and he's 40 years old and he's faced with a decision. I can either start working out and taking care of myself or not. Do I want to make the investment of the time, energy, and money or not? So let's say he does, and he starts exercising 3 days a week. He starts eating a little bit cleaner, and he does this every single week, week after week, year after year, until he's 60 years old. 60 years old, he's fit enough to play with his grandkids. He's got the energy that he wants. He's able to still work, get up and move around without pain. He's at a healthy weight, and he's able to enjoy his retirement. Let's say he retired, and now he's able to play golf or whatever he wants to do. Because he made that investment when he was 40 and did it consistently over time, he's able to enjoy that stuff at a later time in life. Let's say he decides not to make that decision. He wants to save his $100 or $200 a month. He doesn't have the time or the energy or the money to do it. And then once he reaches 60, he's more overweight. Maybe he's developed diabetes or heart disease. Maybe he has a knee or a back issue and he can't play with his grandkids or play golf. And maybe he's, once he retires, he can't do any of those activities he was hoping to do. And not to mention, when you don't exercise and eat healthy for a prolonged period of time, studies show you're going to reduce your life expectancy by roughly 10 to 20%. So if the average life expectancy for a male, let's say, is 75 years old, you're going to shave off about 7 to 15 years off your life if you live a prolonged amount of time, sedentary, not exercising, not eating healthy. So what is that worth to you is what our question really is. Is that even negotiable for people? If you knew that was going to happen, does that affect your decision-making abilities right now? And a lot of people think, oh, it's too late for me. I'm already 44 years old. It's like your life is only half over at this point. You could completely change your life around in a matter of years. And it doesn't matter. We have people that start and do my mom's class that are in their 80s, and they're coming in every single week and working out and bettering themselves, getting stronger. So it's never too late. You just have to find the reason why. You need to look into the future and not just have these superficial goals of, oh, I want to look good for a wedding. I want to look good for a cruise I'm going on. I got a vacation. Why do you want to look good for the vacation? Why do you even care if you look good for the cruise? Because you want to feel good. You want to feel better in your own skin. And why would you only want to feel good for a week when you could feel good for the rest of your life is my question.
That was really good. I like that. It was, yeah, that's a perfect way to put it, of like looking long term. I think people don't really do that enough, of asking like, what's your future self gonna thank you for that you do today? Like, do something today your future self is gonna thank you for. Of maybe is just walking into the gym. Like, it's hard to do, to start something new, but your future self is going to thank you for that. Like, think about when you're 60, say if, you want to be the one that's sitting in the chair because you have back and knee issues and you can't really move around because you're not in good shape and you're not in good health, and everyone else, grandkids are running around you and you can't play with them. I mean, like, how much would that hurt, of like, I did this to myself? And knowing that you could have controlled it, even if you even a year, just to really dive into making that health a priority. 3 to 5 years, and you could probably reverse so much of anything you might have done the first 40 years of your life. Like, if you're 40, and if you took 5 years of like, I'm really going to dedicate myself to being a fitter and healthier version of myself across these 5 years, and not stopping at all during that, you will be fitter at 45 than you probably were when you were 30. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible to see people go through that. I mean, there's many people that have proven that, they've had some sort of major health event, or they come in, they have those unhealthy habits, and they've changed their whole life around and their whole lifestyle. I mean, they're practically a different person. Yeah. And they look like a different person too.
I immediately think of Bill.
Yeah.
One of our members, Bill, he had a heart attack probably about 5 years ago, but he lived a more unhealthy lifestyle, was overweight, had a heart attack. I think he was not quite 50, maybe 50 years old at the time, and now he's about 54. But he completely changed his life around, started doing classes with us 5 years ago. And he's like one of the fittest guys in our classes. And he did the CrossFit Open this year at 55. And it's just amazing to see his transformation. If we were to ask him, he could not imagine not doing what he did and continuing with it. Mm-hmm. So it's really just, like she said, setting yourself up long-term. Like, where do you, like, doing things now that your future self will thank you for. And you could directly relate this to investment or retirement. Like, once you get to 60, you're going to be extremely thankful that starting from when you were 20 or 30 or even 40, you started to set aside some money into an investment account for your retirement. You're going to be extremely thankful that you did that because you have it when you're older. Same thing with your health and fitness. If you're 50, 60, if you're thinking about the future, 70, what are you going to be grateful for that you did when you were younger? Investing in your health and fitness could be one of those things, so that you can do the things that you love to do. So taking an hour 3 days a week to work out, getting the coaching that you need to learn about nutrition, so that you learn that skill and you know what to eat and how to eat for the remainder of your life. You would be very, very thankful for things like that. And it's kind of crazy to think about, like, when you zoom out into a broad spectrum. She mentioned you could undo 40 years of bad habits in about couple years. Yeah. It's insane to think about, actually. So, one of our main programs that we've been doing for people, just starting a few months ago, is a 9-week transformation. And to think that at any age, no matter what age, so somebody's 30 years old, we could completely change their life from age 30 to 90 based off a 9-week program. And that's what our goal is, actually, with it, is we have basically compiled all the information that we have learned over the last, combined 15, 20 years of being in health and fitness, and tried to put it into a 9-week program to teach people the habits and the actions and the routines and the lifestyle that you need to learn to live a long, healthy lifestyle and adopt that fit, healthy identity is really the goal. So if you can literally, from a 9 weeks, put yourself on a trajectory to be that Jeff at 60, where he's retired and healthy and energetic and he has no injuries and no pain and he can run around and play and enjoy himself for the rest of his life, that would be one of the most best investments you could possibly imagine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. You added in the trajectory. Like, our 9-week program is to set people on the right trajectory. So they are currently, when they first come in, they're probably on a downward trajectory of, like, they know, looking ahead, like, in 20 years, maybe even shorter than that, I will be in terrible shape. Like, this is not going to end up good. And by, like, switching that mindset around, all right, so let's just push you on the right track. that 9 weeks gives you a jump start to, all right, we're going to start doing the right habits, the right things that are going to get you to your goals. Whether it's, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, we want you to still be chasing and not stop once you've started on that right path. Yeah. And obviously you're going to have ups and downs throughout it, but as long as you just keep going and you don't stop, you'll end up with a way healthier, fitter version of yourself.
Yep. To end it off, literally, once you start, you cannot stop. Just keep going. Remind yourself why you're doing it. There's going to be really, really hard times. There's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to be short on time, short on energy, but the fact of the matter is you can do it. You just have to adjust your dial, put in what you can, and you'll get out what you want. So just make sure you keep going and don't ever give up, and get the help that you need. Bethany mentioned earlier, there's so many workouts where we're not excited to do it. And I can definitely second that. But when I think about the workouts that I am really excited for, it's the workouts where we're all in a big group. Those are the funnest workouts. Yeah. We get together, and it's just like there's something about suffering with other people that you really like being around, and putting in the hard work together. Once you're done, it's very enjoyable for me, and it makes me feel accomplished. And it's fun at the end of it once you do it. So with that being said, if you're in a position where you don't know what to do, you want to start living a healthier and fit lifestyle, find other people that are just like you, maybe friends or family members, coworkers, to do it with. Get yourself a little support system. Obviously, get the coaching that you need or the help that you need. Like, we have coaches and we follow programs. We help each other as coaches. We are also here to help, obviously, the clients and members as well, get them on the right track. But then having that extra support system can definitely help benefit you as well. And just to kind of add on to that, everybody that we've had start has eventually kind of brought in a friend or a family member. Maybe their kids start doing it with them. So we really create a lifestyle change, not in just you, but in your whole entire family and in your group, the people that you spend the most time with. So that's a big thing about it as well, to keep that kind of identity going for the rest of your life. It spreads out to everybody around you, and it makes it so much easier and enjoyable too. So that's all for today. We went a little longer than we were planning on, but hopefully this helps you guys come up with a plan to start, and just come up with a plan to keep it going. There's no end in sight. Use those challenges to get you going, get that kickstart, but understand it's a process. Understand there's going to be ups and downs, and just know that if you stay consistent, you will succeed. What was the quote by Alex again?
I will not fail if I do not quit.
I will not fail. You cannot fail if you don't quit. So we'll end it with that. Until next time, make sure you like and subscribe, and stay healthy, everybody. See ya.